Taharayim Naim, good afternoon to everyone. I think it might still be morning possibly in some places. Good to see you. I wanted to just start with something that is usually used for Torah, like literally Torah, but I'm thinking that it also relates to our Women's League and sisterhood. So here's the saying that you're probably familiar with. It's a good place to look in the Siddur if you happen to want to be wandering. In Pirkei Avot, Ethics of Our Ancestors, in chapter 5, at the end of the chapter, and I'm Rabbi Ellen, I shouldn't assume anyone knows who I am, I'm sorry. I'm Rabbi Ellen Wolensfields. I'm the Executive Director of Women's League for Conservative Judaism and a proud member of Congregation Torah El in the Garden State region. So it's good to see many of my Garden State women here. So I wanted to bring this verse from chapter 5 of Pirkei Avot, Ethics of Our Ancestors, that's usually related to Torah. Then Bagbag taught, turn it, everything is in it. Reflect on it and grow old and gray with it. Don't turn from it, for nothing is better than it. So that's hafochba, v'hafochba, v'hakolba. You turn Torah, everything's in it. And that's truly what Women's League is all about. That there's something here for everyone. It's often why I might share that I'm not just all about Torah, that I love many different aspects. There are different aspects of my life. Some I've taken on because of my children. So for example, I like some of the modern music because they listen to it, or NASCAR. It's that I'm multi-sided. And we have different parts of us. And just the way our women in Women's League, some people are there because they love to cook. Others never stepped foot in the kitchen except to eat. That'd be me. So, but there are others, and there's so much that so many people can lend to us, to offer to us, to volunteer. And you gotta hafochba v'hafochba, learn about your members and see what they can offer. Not everyone is just their profession. I'm not just a rabbi. There's so many other things that I love. And our members are just like that. And that's what our membership programming is all about, that we should try to offer something for different people in different aspects, because you turn it, Women's League is there for everyone and for so many different things. And for the first part of it, it's so to bring together God, Torah, and Israel. So I love my Women's League women, and I love Women's League, and I think that we are like Torah. Keep learning it and keep studying it, and you'll find something new all the time. So Toda Rabah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. And I hope that you all learn that we're multifaceted and we have many different interests and levels. So Toda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. You are now, I am, we just switched. You are on seeing, you just saw Meryl Balaban, and I am Regina Newman, and we are your co-chairs of membership. And we are thrilled that you're all joining us today. And we do want to hear from as many of you as possible. However, you are all muted because we can't have everybody talking at once. And you know what it does on Zoom if you've been on before, which I'm sure most of you have. Please raise your hand or put a note in the chat, and someone will recognize you so that you can unmute. We have two directions that we want to discuss today. The first is how your billing campaign has been tweaked for this virtual world. We have one very good example that we'd like to ask Sue Bangle from Clearwater, Florida to tell us about. And you'll see the letter that they have written on the screen.
So a couple weeks ago, I had received this from my sisterhood as a letter, the letter that they send out when they send out the dues statement. And actually on the back of this was our dues statement with membership information for them, etc. But I was so impressed with the letter that I wanted to share it with everyone. And I'll read it. Dear friends, this has been most extraordinary time. It has made us appreciate the value of our social connections and force us to discover new and creative ways to maintain them. We will continue to explore these uncharted waters together and look forward to your participation. I write today to invite all new and returning members to commit to CBS, which stands for Congregation Beth Shalom Sisterhood, and to the idea of having a dynamic, supportive, and fun year together. If ever there were a time that taught us that we are stronger together than apart, this has been the time. We promise to do more friend-raising than fundraising. We recognize both as important and necessary, but especially enjoy the bonds that develop while crafting, painting, cooking, exercising, reading, and learning together. By joining Congregation Beth Shalom Sisterhood, you also become a part of Women's League for Conservative Judaism. The Women's League is a network of women who seek to enhance Jewish knowledge, nurture Jewish life, and support Klal Yisrael. It is an active arm of the conservative Masorti movement and the largest synagogue-based women's organization worldwide. So turn me over, because on the back was the registration form. On the back, you will find a membership application. Please complete and return to Eileen, who is our financial secretary. Okay. Take time to indicate your areas of interest, and there is something you would like to do that we've yet to think of, please jot it down. We want your ideas. Every application then goes on to say that, you'll be entered into a contest if they receive your application before September 7th. Thank you for your support. Looking forward to a great year together. Lahitra Ot, until we meet, and the two people in charge of membership at Congregation Beth Shalom Sisterhood. So a couple things stood out to me. One is that the second paragraph, when they said about writing today to invite all new and returning members to commit to our sisterhood, to the idea of having a dynamic, supportive, and fun year together. If ever there were a time that taught us that we are stronger together than apart, it's now because of the pandemic. So that paragraph really I thought was very important. And very important too was the third paragraph. By joining Congregation Beth Shalom Sisterhood, you also become a part of the Women's League for Conservative Judaism. I think it's up to all of us to make sure that the membership understands what Women's League is. That there are so many resources and things you can get from Women's League, and that becoming your sisterhood, when they pay their per capita dues, opens up a world of information for everyone. So those two paragraphs I thought were just wonderful to have, and the rest too, but those two just stood out to me so much that when I received my letter, I contacted both Jennifer and Sarah and told them what a great, great letter I thought it was. Any questions or comments?
Well,
So there's a question of whether or not they can get a copy of this letter.
Yes.
Sue, this is Regina. We will be emailing all the flyers and letters, also with minutes from today's meeting, to everyone who is attending.
Okay. And just some things there, and then you detail it for your particular sisterhood. But I just think it's a great way of saying, we're here for you. Please join.
Okay, and this is Meryl Balaban speaking. I agree.
I can't hear you.
Paragraph where you bring in our connection to Women's League is so vital, because there are many members of the sisterhoods who just don't understand or recognize the connection, and this paragraph really brings it all together. Thank you for sharing it.
Absolutely.
Okay, Sue, I do have a
Yes.
question. Did this go to the entire membership, and was this mailed or emailed?
It was mailed. It is mailed, and enclosed also is a envelope with Eileen's name and address on it. No stamp, but an envelope included. And it is, as far as I know, it is mailed to all women in the synagogue.
Okay, and
Because you notice that the second paragraph says, I write today to invite all new and returning members.
right.
So that way everyone's included.
Okay, and we have a question from Jill Weisberg.
Okay.
You want to unmute yourself, Jill?
Okay.
My question is, how is it looking? Have they gotten some good dues, a good rate of dues coming in?
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. We have, this letter went out about 2 weeks
Oh,
ago.
Cindy.
I'm the treasurer of this sisterhood, and we now have 68 members enrolled and paid, and another 8 checks were received yesterday.
Can I say something also, Cindy?
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, this is Eileen. I'm the financial secretary. And I'm getting people that have not joined in several years that are now rejoining. So the letter really worked, and checks are coming in much quicker than they usually do. So we're usually we'll come up to about 131 members. So we're more than halfway, which is unusual for this time of year.
Great.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you could see it, but the way, it was put out, this happens to be the Word copy, but it was put out on the stationery. So, right away, you can see the synagogue, the branding, the Women's League logo. It really, just the way it was presented, brought everything together. So again, thank you. I wanted to introduce 2 people.
Wait, I think there's a question about that, Meryl.
Right.
All right.
We are the co-presidents of Yorktown Jewish Center Sisterhood. And we would like to know, would you mind very much if we use parts of that letter for our sisterhood?
Would we be plagiarizing?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you can use it. That's why I brought it to everyone's attention.
Okay,
Thank you. 'Cause
thank you.
It's done very nicely. Thank you.
It was
I
wonderful.
just want to share one thing because I wrote the letter.
Good.
Sorry, there's all this discussion. First of all, it made me really happy, Cindy, to hear your numbers because those are updated numbers since we spoke last. So that thrills me. But the most important line for me when I wrote it was we promised to do more friend raising than fundraising. Because in this particular year, what I was feeling was especially disconnected, as I imagine we all have in these unusual months. But also mindful that we have membership that are saying, what am I going to do? Why am I going to pay dues again to be connected to what? Right? So I wanted to make sure that we made that commitment to them to find a way within acceptable parameters. And the last thing is we did send it out to all the women that have membership with the Shul, but we also have extended the invitation to some women who have expressed an interest in our sisterhood, but maintain membership. They affiliate elsewhere, but choose to have a social connection with our sisterhood. And so I extended the letter and did send it as a hard copy it was all sent hard copy. I did not send it as an email to answer that question.
Thank you.
So this letter was sent hard copy to every member in your synagogue.
Plus,
every woman who has membership in the synagogue, plus about a dozen, 10 to 12 others.
And we also have women that don't belong to any synagogue that are our members.
Yes.
So we collect people. And we welcome everybody.
Okay, Meryl, do you have?
I just wanted to bring up that we have 2 people that I wanted to introduce. First of all, we are fortunate to have our international president, Debbie Golich, online with us. Just wave so everyone can see you. And she's also helping with the chats this afternoon. And Renee Ravitch, I don't know where there she is up on top there. And Renee is also helping with the chats. Because of the group this size, we need lots of hands in there. So thank you very much. Let me see if there's anyone else. And of course, you also saw Margie Miller. There she is down there, our media past president. And you're going to see Margie a lot this next few years with membership. So we'll all be working together. Okay, Regina, back to you.
Okay. Dues, of course, is closely connected to membership. And so now what we'd like to do is talk about our paid up membership events. If we have more flyers or information about dues collections and dues billing, it will of course be included with the information that we will be sending you after this meeting. Also, if there are some people that want to stay on a little bit later than the 2 o'clock hour, we'll be glad to stay on with you then too for a while.
We do that. Renee
so-
has a quick comment.
Well,
Yes.
I just want to ask in the chat, people are asking about charging sisterhood dues through the synagogue, and if that's better than sending out personally, which works better. And also, are you going to be covering about Venmo, PayPal, or those other outside services? So those are questions. I don't know if they're part of your talk or not.
We had not discussed the Venmo and other outside issues, or nor had we discussed having the sisterhood versus the synagogue do the billing issue for today. However, I can tell you from personal experience with our sisterhood, we do better when the synagogue bills. That does not prevent us from sending a letter very much like the one Clearwater, Florida sent out that we sent to our membership also. So
I'm going to give,
we could come
I'm going
back
to
to
give
that.
another side to that, since you just brought it up about synagogue versus sisterhood. I had been per capita chair a couple of years ago, so I have the experience of the different sisterhoods and how they collected. My experience from collecting the per capita was that we had an easier time collecting directly from the sisterhood when they were bringing in the membership dues than the synagogue. And what happened was the synagogue often didn't give the membership list until a couple of months later. So they themselves didn't know who was a member and who wasn't a member. So they couldn't get in the information that we as per capita needed. So that was one of the problems. And I understand why, you know, it's easier because then everyone becomes, you know, a member basically. But that, you know, that became an issue too. So just my own personal experience was I found it more successful when the sisterhoods collected. This way they knew who their members were directly.
yeah, but you know, each sisterhood has their own way of working and their own issues. Let's just put it that way. But going on to our paid up membership meeting, we would like to show you some flyers. Meryl is going to introduce some flyers that we have received, none of them specific to paid up membership, and they are all things that you can look at and adjust them to your members. And along those lines, maybe this will click that you can go on to other organizations, PTA, I don't know, the school PTA, and look and see what they are doing or what they have done. Do it for your membership. One program that many people have found entertaining, of course, is playing bingo and even offering gift certificates, or if you don't have a gift shop, maybe an easy to arrange gift or gift certificate like for Starbucks or whatever. And a good site to help you make your own bingo game personal is for your sisterhood is myfreebingo.com. I just wanted to mention that to you, and you will have it, like I said, in your minutes. But Meryl is going to introduce our next flyer.
Okay, introducing my next flyer.
Well, talk about
Okay.
the next flyer.
Yeah. Well, I want to put it up on screen because we were working so quickly to try to get things together. Not all of it went over to the office. So can I do a share screen now? Let's see.
Karen
share
has
screen.
along with them.
Okay, then Karen, why don't you just put them up. I had one here that I wanted to share, but it's okay. From Temple Israel. It's just, I can just read it to you. It says, we're open and forget social distancing. It's physical distancing. Staying social and connected to others is more important than ever. Join Sisterhood and be part of something wonderful, meaningful, fun, educational, and fulfilling. Your TI Sisterhood board is working hard to find ways for us to reconnect, re-engage, and revive. Join us. Send in your application and membership fee today. I thought this was simple, to the point, and it used keywords that Women's League uses a lot. You know, reconnect, re-engage, and revive. So I just wanted to share this one, that it doesn't have to necessarily be long letters or whatever, that some of you might, you know, connect more to a shorter thing. Karen, you have some of the other flyers. We got some wonderful flyers came in, and, you know, obviously we can't get to all of them, but okay, whose was this? If you can, wait, this one. Who, let's see, I can't see. Okay, if we can have the owner of this one, is she on?
Manchester, Connecticut.
Right. So this is obviously not something you do in the fall.
No.
But
okay, Vitola, this is more.
Okay, hi, I'm Sue Margolis. And can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And so I always wondered why the holiday of Yom Yerushalayim was not celebrated, like Yom HaAtzmaut or other Israel holidays. So for this past May, when we normally have our Torah Fund event, we were able to do a virtual. And what I did was I put together a whole video program using videos that I found online. A lot of it was historical, showing and talking about the reunification of Jerusalem and the Six-Day War. And we showed, you know, the history and then modern. And then because, as you mentioned at the very beginning of this meet, that congregants have so much to offer, that I'm a big proponent. I like to ask people to share out their experiences. So people for this event shared out things like where they were during the Six-Day War, how they felt, what news they were reading relative to while they were here and the war was being fought in Israel.
It's a great idea.
Great, thank you.
You know, and any of these programs can be tweaked to use for paid up membership or regular programming. Now, Karen?
We have a pretty new member. She's been a member of the synagogue, I think, for only 2 years. And she said, why don't we do a Zoom paint party? So we had something like 30 people, some families, some members, some non-members, whatever, join us. Prior to that, we distributed kits that had in them canvases, brushes, all the paints that you might need, and we pre-designated an image. I wish I could show it to you. It's pretty nice one, a pomegranate tree. And the teacher who taught us that morning showed the image and then gave us step-by-step directions. And it was a
Miriam, excuse me, Miriam, I think you had the ability to show it now. Karen.
Okay, yeah, let me try it. That's what the invitation. Charge minimally, just charge $25, just about covered our kids. But what we thought is that it's early in the year, and let's just do something fun and get people involved. And yeah, I think it was pretty good thing for Zoom. You know, I didn't know whether we could carry it off on Zoom, but we did.
Very nice, thank you.
How many people signed up for it?
30 or so.
Nice.
We have about 70 plus members in our women's league, so you know, half, give or take.
Right.
Miriam, can you send us that flyer so we can include it in the package that we're sending everybody after?
Good. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Miriam, there was a question for you. Was there a charge for the teacher in addition to the materials?
Yeah, the teacher charged $150, and we decided that it was worth trying to attract members to cover that $150 since we've done so very little because of this horrible whatever we're going through at the moment.
Okay, thank you. And then somebody else, two other people asked, how did you distribute the supplies?
I had some of the supplies in my house. People came and picked up. I live near the shoal. And then Karen, the chairperson, was like this one woman operation. She was like amazing. She delivered it. She delivered the supplies to a lot of people. She has a store not far away, a little women's boutique, and some people came and picked up from her. It was, delivering the supplies was probably the most challenging part of it.
Okay, and I'm not sure if this question was from you. What were in the kits?
Paintbrushes, paints, and a blank canvas. And since I'm, the greatest of all artists, I'm trying to decide which version of slash and burn I should use on my end product. But one woman really did like an amazing job, and we were asked to put a little piece about it in our upcoming Adat Shalom Call HaShalom bulletin, and included that piece that she did. And it was
Thank you.
Good success, I think.
Thank you. There are somebody did a Zoom jewelry making event similar to that. Somebody did a beverage and babies night. For the jewelry Zoom, kits were delivered. Somebody else did a denim mask event.
And she'd like to share her flyer, Renee. Sandra Foreman would like to share her flyer on the denim mask event.
Okay, and while she's getting that, Rabbi or Debbie, somebody's asking to use the BQLI Jewish Women in the Fight for the Vote to present to the synagogue. Do they have permission to do that?
No, actually, I have an answer for that. And I am not able to make Sandra Foreman a co-host to be able to share. I don't know if Karen can do that. But I do have an answer for you. That program, the BQLI program on women's suffragette, I was just talking to Anise this afternoon. I think she might even be on right here. So maybe Anise wants to answer that question. Anise, are you on? Can you unmute?
Yes, she is on.
Yes, I am on.
Would you like to answer that question?
Yes, we decided that Women's League will post this to the Women's League members section for read only, and that was our decision.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Okay, but I'm sure that if you needed any information about hosting your own program.
Actually, Marcia Belgorod, who did the initial research and wrote the script for that program, was invited by a couple of sisterhoods to present it for the sisterhood only. And if you're interested in contacting her, I'll put her, actually I don't have her email address here, but you can contact me. I'm sure she will be happy to discuss whether or not she's available to do it on an individual sisterhood basis.
Why don't you put your email in the chat, Anise?
I will.
Okay. And tell them who you are. Region
I'm president of BQLI region. Thank you, Debbie.
Okay. All right, I got it.
While you're looking for it, I'm just curious how many sisterhoods have different levels of membership dues. You know, as we were getting these flyers, I've noticed that, you know, there were some various levels. So I'd be curious to know how many of you have the various levels, and if it does include your either what you want to call a paid up dinner, or you know, some don't call it paid up dinner, but does your dues include that? So if you have any, you know, while she's looking.
Bill Chelmar, you have been raising your hand. Would you like to say something while Karen is getting her stuff together? I mean, Sandra is getting her stuff together.
Well, I'm answering the question about different levels of dues. We started it, I mean, I'm talking about in Florida, not in Chicago. I have no idea what's going on here. But our sisterhood in Gainesville decided we were going to do different levels just as support. We offer nothing different. We start, I think our dues now are up to $45, and we have different levels. And I think we named them after like Sarah and Miriam, and there's different levels up to $108. There's like maybe 5 different levels, and you can be surprised. People just write a check out for $108. And the rationale for that is that we have a lot of our programs free. We don't charge little bits and pieces for, and that was the rationale behind that originally. And we have no problem with people donating 72 or 108. I mean, there are some of the levels. And I mean, I guess it depends on your community, but we found that we didn't have to offer anything extra when we worded it like this way. And we do most of our functions, other than maybe our opening brunch, which of course this year is not gonna, it's gonna be virtual. And we don't charge for very much at all. So
okay, thank you. That's a nice way of doing it. And I know a lot of other people do it slightly differently, but Sandra is showing us her flyer right now, so let's let her tell us about that.
Yes, so Regina Nemny is a Jewish designer from Los Angeles and an old friend of mine. And so she actually put together a pattern just for us so that we could hand sew instead of using a sewing machine. And we gave everyone the pattern ahead of time, and she also did a video of what stitch to use on the denim. And basically you can use jeans that you have at home, like an old pair of jeans. And she did a lot of research. She said that jeans, because of how thick the material is, it does very well without having to do like a double layer of the mask. And it's the most comfortable, like breathable mask that I have, but I feel I get good protection. It was a really fun event, especially a lot of the older women who like to sew, as well as the younger women, really enjoyed this event. So I know she is available. Her website is there if anyone wants to contact her. So we did that night by Zoom, and it went very well.
Thank you.
What we decided to do is to try to do a little fundraiser on top of our events. If it's a Zoom event, we're allowing members for free and then non-members for a fee. So if non-members want to join, it's $10, and it's just another way to bring some money in.
Right.
And make sure we have a copy of that flyer.
What was that?
Can we make sure we get a copy of that, Sandra, so we can send it to everyone?
Sure.
Thank you.
Judy said she sent a flyer ahead, and I'm not sure which flyer she's talking about. And Susan had, somebody asked Susan if she had a video to share. I'm not.
Can I, this is Judy. Can I tell you which one it was?
Sure, thank you.
Please.
It had a picture of Jackie Kennedy on it. Oh. And I know I sent it because you responded. So you have it there.
Okay, so if Karen is co-host, I'm sure she can find it again.
Host now. She's host now.
Okay, all right, great. Karen, do you have that?
No, I didn't. A horrible thought. Does she know who Jackie Kennedy is? She's young.
Oh my God.
Well, while Karen is looking for that, I want.
Okay, can I just
explain? Yes.
Okay, so that's our opening program, September 2nd. There's women in our area, but anybody could use it now with that we're on Zoom, who portrays different characters. And so she's going to be portraying Jackie Kennedy for us. She did Estee Lauder a few years ago, and anyhow, so she's really good, portrays the character. And every year at our September opening meeting, we usually have a fashion show. Well, obviously this year we couldn't. So I thought, you know what, we have somebody who's well-known, glamorous, and, you know, that would kind of help us with their opening non-fashion show. Anyhow, so what we did is we have 3 categories with our dues as well, 36, 54, 72. So we're asking people to pay their dues in order to come. And besides that, to make a small donation, because we've been doing all these nice programs on Zoom, and some of them are costing us, some aren't. So anyhow, so this is what we're doing for our opening one, and reservations are still coming in, so I hope we do well. So did you find the flyer at all? I thought it was a nice looking flyer. I mean, I can hold it up, I have it here, but.
Why don't you go ahead and hold it up for us, and
okay, I don't know.
and then if everybody would click on speaker view while Judy is talking while you're holding it. So.
Okay, so anyhow, hopefully this should bring in, so anyhow, we usually get over 100 people at our opening event. So I'm hoping that this will bring in a fair amount of people. I thought we picked a good, you know, someone good that people could relate to, and hopefully
Bring it up
they'll
a
like
little
it.
higher, Judy. A little higher.
Okay. There.
Thanks. Okay, great.
Does everybody see that? So. Yeah. Okay, so anyhow, so we'll see what happens, but.
How much did that person charge to do the event?
$200.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I have her name and number if somebody else is interested in using her. And like I said, she does a lot of characters, and I know she does Estee Lauder, of course. I know she does Jackie Kennedy, and I know she does Eleanor Roosevelt.
Does she, are you charging, or is this for paid up members?
Well, we're asking you to pay your dues, plus we're asking for a small donation. It can be as small as $5 or up to $50, whatever someone feels comfortable in giving. And the other thing is, so some people only gave $5 tacked on to their dues. Other people, most people gave $18 tacked on to their dues.
Can you give us her name and telephone number?
Her name is Leslie Goddard, Goddard, and I don't have her number handy right now, but somebody, you know, you can email me.
Can you put your name and email in the chat, please, Judy?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll get that and put that in the minutes.
Right.
What's your last name, Judy? Oh,
Frank.
Now they can.
I do want to let everyone know that we received quite a number of flyers, and the ones that came to me, I sent them on to Karen because I don't know how to put them on the computer. And, you know, so this is why I can't tell you exactly what. This is from Sisterhood Emmanuel and on Savannah Highway. It sounds like it might be
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant. So if not, we can all see that it says reboot your 2020 resolutions. Do we have somebody? I thought I heard a voice.
Gloria's on.
And this is talking about, they had a speaker for nutrition and exercise and wellness. That's something that's made for Zoom. You can easily do something like that over a Zoom presentation, having learning.
This was before the pandemic.
Right.
And we went there, and
February.
they showed us, in fact, it was like a week before we shut down. They showed us some of the things that they did, you know, on decluttering and what you can use. The supplies that they have to help you organize and what it looks like. They had someone doing muscle relaxation, and they went and told us how, you know, showed us you could lie on the table and he would work on the muscles. So it was very interesting and successful.
Thank you, Gloria.
Hello?
Can we, Joyce? Hello?
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 Okay.
Do you have a question? Do you have a question?
No, we
No.
want to talk about, we are doing for our paid up membership, a laughter, if you can understand my Boston accent, a laughter yoga, and by Donna Bernstein. And she has come and has done for our temple. She's done other yoga presentations. And I myself took her class in laughter yoga, and there's quite a following, and she had to get special training from a guru in India. And we thought this would be a great way to celebrate the new year and to have some fun and laughter, and it really happens to be very relaxing, and I highly recommend it.
And Pearl, where are you from?
Yorktown
From
Jewish
Jewish
Center in Yorktown, Westchester County, New York.
In there.
And we're both co-presidents, aren't we lucky? So that's what's doing, and we had it for last spring, of course, and then with the Zoom, we decided to hold it in October. And when we get the flyer, I'll be glad to send it to you. We
Great.
have a wonderful woman who does the flyers for us. Thank goodness. So that's that.
You know, I'm curious, how many of you have decided to put off your paid up membership program and until like later on in the year in hopes that you can get together again? Or are you all doing Zoom?
We're doing Zoom.
Yeah, I was just curious if anyone's like putting it off.
I did see a couple of hands that are putting it off. Ellen, did you want to say something?
Just putting it off, putting it off.
You're putting it off, okay.
We do have some hands raised in the participants. We have Helene.
Well, I just want to ask Ellen a question though. So when you put it off, how will you go about collecting dues then? What month were you going to put it off until?
We're going to collect dues, just collect dues, period, and say these are the things that we're really in the planning stages now. We're so full bludgeon at this point.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead with our dues request and tell them these are the kinds of things that we're going to be planning, and we'll pick a paid up membership thing at that time.
Okay, thanks.
Do we have any other ladies, Renee or Debbie, do we have any other people that have?
Grace Schessler has a membership application, and I believe that Karen Tenisaka just found it and she's going to share it, and Grace can talk about it.
Okay, and then we do have a few hands raised that we'll get to as soon as we're done with the share.
Okay.
I don't think it's mine though, actually. I'm not Temple Israel. I just sent it directly to
Midway, Grace?
Yeah.
That's the one. Karen, if you could share Midway. I'm multi-texting here instead of multitasking. So.
And I'm taking notes, even including what people are suggesting in the chat. So those will be in the middle.
Wonderful.
And somebody wants.
There we go, Grace. You're on.
Can we pull back on it so we could see it? Yeah, thanks. So that is our little logo, and this is very simplified from what it used to be. So we have 3 different levels of membership, and we do 54 general, 65 and older is 36, and 18 for little sisters. And we do have some moms sign up their kids, not many, but it's trying to create that Lador feeling. And you'll see below that we do offer a Venmo payment, and it's been successful. We do it for all our events as well, because I thought initially it would just attract some of the younger moms and members, but actually almost, I would say more than half, maybe 3/4 now pay by Venmo. So it's really a great option, and it makes paying for things, including membership, very easy. I don't know if it says something else on the bottom. I don't remember. I don't have it open in front of me.
It just says who to contact.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, and you say all categories include Women's League membership on the blue line. We try to get a lot of information in a very simplistic way, and it's worked for us.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah, Grace, let me just ask you a question here. You said that little logo up on top. Do you use this on all of your sisterhood flyers?
Well, it's funny you asked. We used to. We've recently changed over to Poster My Wall, where we create really beautiful flyers, and it just didn't show up as nicely. And that is not like a really terrific image. It's not like we paid for that. I think if you have a vector that really can pop, then it's worth it to do. So we've kind of phased it out. But if you have one, I would definitely suggest using it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up, that having your brand, branding your flyers is always helpful, because as soon as you see it, it's like, okay, I'm looking at a sisterhood event.
Right.
So
If you enlarge it, you could see that the woman on the left is pregnant. The woman in the middle, let's say, has gray curly hair, and then you have like it's like the mama bear, the papa bear, and the baby bear. So the one at the end is sort of in the middle. So it has something for everybody.
Hey, don't forget when you're branding to include the WLCJ brand also. Okay.
We do have some questions, and I just want to make a comment. I heard a sisterhood once when they were doing Venmo or PayPal say that they were using somebody's personal email for the payment, and that should not be done. It should be the sisterhood's email and the sisterhood's account. So I just want to put that out there. And then Helene had a question.
Actually, just some comments. I had just typed in laughter yoga when it was mentioned right after. I saw some YouTubes quite accidentally on this laughter yoga, and it was hilarious, and it certainly gets rid of stress, and it seemed like fun. So I brought it up at a meeting, and everybody wants me to be the yoga instructor because I teach line dancing and I have taken yoga. And I have to say that some members, because I'm going to try to do it, can just look at YouTubes with this Indian doctor who created this, and he actually goes through routines. If you're comfortable in front of people, some of your members could actually conduct this. You just have to be uninhibited and be able to laugh and do these little motions. So we are planning to do that sometime in this coming year. Even if it was an icebreaker for 15 minutes or 10 minutes, it can be done, and it might be a lot of fun, and it's something different. The other thing is that I mentioned, and someone wanted to know about it, is we're doing a beverage and babies night for our kickoff event. And the welcome event for after we've got the members is going to be jukebox bingo. Have any of you heard of that?
No.
We have someone that we're paying $200, and we're charging for it so much money for so many cards. We're only going to play 2 or 3 games. But what it is it's a disc jockey who, and there's several of them out there. We just have used this guy before the virus, and it was a lot of fun. He gives you a little bit of a background as he starts to play the music or right after, for different eras, like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the bingo cards are emailed. They can be cut out and used. And they're, instead of numbers and numbers and letters, it's names of songs. And when we did it in person, people would get up and dance to the music. It was a really lot of fun, and it can be done on Zoom. So that's what we're doing. I wanted to share the Beverage and Babies Night flyer, which is really cute, but I don't know how to do it. I don't really have the flyer except as an attachment to
Helen, can you explain exactly what Beverage and Babies is?
Thank you.
Yeah, we hope it'll be successful. We're asking people to send a picture of themselves as a baby. We're making it clear that they don't have to. They can still enjoy the fun. But if they do that, we can use it at the Beverage and Babies party. And we're supposed to guess who the baby is. I'm not really in charge of it. I have a chair who thought this up. And they're supposed to also send something about themselves, some little tidbit that nobody knows. It's going to start out with the usual things. She's going to talk. I'm going to talk about sisterhood a little bit. And then at some point, we're playing a YouTube of Bobby Darin singing "You Must Have Been a Beautiful Baby." We're going to try to incorporate some things from YouTube that are fun. We haven't done it yet, but I could explain it more after it's done. And if anybody wants the flyer, my email address is Helaine, HELAINE 43@gmail.com.
Elaine, just send it to me, honey. It's
Is
Margie.
that Margie? Is
Yeah,
that
hi,
Margie?
honey. Hi, sweetie.
Okay, I will do that, Margie.
And I'll send it to everybody.
You may also put it in the chat. Put your email in the chat if someone wants to get to you directly. How to do that, Elaine?
Okay. All right.
Great.
Okay, we have another hand raised that's been raised a while. Jill Weisberg.
Could you please explain what laughter yoga is?
What is?
Laughter
yoga.
yoga.
Oh,
Okay. What is it?
Well, it incorporates yoga movements with this Indian teacher who studied, I don't know if he was a doctor, he may be. And so it's based on scientific research, and it's the way you breathe and the way you laugh. And it's a way of, I'm trying to remember, release all the pent up feelings. So when you breathe and then you do a lot of movements with your hand and with your body. It happens to be very relaxing. And I was a skeptic. I said, I like my own sense of humor. I can laugh at anything. But this was, if you let yourself go, it's just very enjoyable. And you don't have to be a great yogi person. But it gets you moving.
I just have to say, we had a nice Jewish girl do ours at the synagogue, and people loved it. You don't have to know how to do yoga.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And I think Donna Bernstein, and the person I worked with, Donna Bernstein, she is very pleasurable to work with and very easy, and she's been a delight. And we've been in touch, as I said, we did a previous yoga with her, and now this one, and because of Zoom, because of the pandemic, we had to change. And it's just a fun, and we thought it was perfect for the paid up membership. Usually we have a wonderful dinner that night, and I think we're all a little sad that we can't do that. So this should be fine. And believe it or not, we're doing it after our board meeting.
Yeah.
And we're our small group. So, and those who work during the day, we felt that this was a perfect time. Okay, I hope, but you certainly can go online and look up Donna Bernstein. I'm looking to see, I think I have here her email address, which I can put in for you if you're interested. But
Okay.
she's a delight and she gets right back.
Thank
So,
you.
There
well
are other
worth it.
types of yoga that you could use too, including one of our own Women's League members who teaches yoga, teaching you the alphabet, to do it through Aleph, form the letters of the alphabet. And that's Paula Copeland.
Okay, along with that, I've been searching for someone who does yoga through meditation, through Jewish background, Jewish ideas. And I have not been able to find someone. Years ago, the UJA had a program where my daughter and I attended, and it was very spiritual.
Sue Gerland. Sue Gerland is from Boca, and she's done a program at our conventions, the last several conventions, the real conventions, not our fabulous convention. And she does a mindfulness through Torah and movement.
That's what I want.
In one of our alternative services early in the morning on convention. She's right in Florida. She might be on the call. I don't know if she's on this, but I'll put that in the minutes as well. And
thank you.
It's Sue Gerland, and she has a whole program and very compassionate and very spiritual, and that's her thing. So,
do you know if she does it on Zoom?
In this world, I guess she does everything on Zoom. So I'll make sure I get that information. I'll call her later. And
thank you
so
much.
Before Regina sort of closes out, I just wanted to say one thing. In case you were wondering whether people enjoy or not enjoy or are receptive to Zoom programs, take a look. We have 164 people on here today. And I think you'll see that when you offer a program, whether it be on Zoom or whatever else, people want something and they're looking for anything now. So take advantage of all these multimedia apps that you can get a hold of. And when we're all done here, you also can go over to the chats and see the various levels of membership dues that people are advertising what they do at their sisterhood. So, get those letters out, let them know what you're doing. And Regina.
I was going to say, yes, we have already had some people had to leave us, and some people will be leaving soon. If you have flyers, if you have a program you want to tell us about that you still want us to share, if you want us to do some more of this, please let Meryl and myself know. And you should have our email addresses, but it's Meryl B at WLCJ.com. And I know I got it backwards, didn't I?
Meryl, can you type them into the chat?
Yes, I'll do that right now.
Okay.
And Regina's also.
Yeah.
For those that want to stay on and discuss the Venmo, PayPal piece.
There's a lot of talk about the Venmo.
And Margie, there was one other thing that people asked. Mara God, Sandra Foreman was looking to have her do a program, but it's expensive. I was wondering if anybody else would like to join in with their sisterhood. So that's another way of bringing in people that may charge a little more. Plus, you can negotiate. Always negotiate. So
and this is a good time, to do programs with other sisterhoods because no one has to travel. You just go on to Zoom and you've got a whole big group.
Hey, Debbie, I saw your hand.
Thank you, Regina. So there was a question about the Women's League website and why we would put something into the members only part of it and what is the members only part of it. So Women's League has our website. We've got lots of great stuff on it. And much of it at the beginning is open to everyone who wants to come and find out about Women's League. But in order to find out some very specific program information, you need to sign in if you are a member. So if you are a member and you've never been to our website, go in, look at our website, sign in, create a login password, and then as a member, you'll be able to find information that you might not have known existed. For example, there's a guide how to be a sisterhood president, there's model bylaws, there's all kinds of information, but it's only available to the members. And that program that Anise referred to at BQLI on women suffragette, Jewish women, is a benefit of being a member of Women's League, which is why it will be in the members only section of the website. So I posted the website address in the chat. And if you have problems logging in, or you need help, or you did sign in once upon a yuntif and you don't remember your password, get in touch with us and call the office, email us, any one of us, and we'll help you find your password again. And you can get into the members only section of our website that has lots of information.
Can you give us the how to sign into the Women's League? We're new at this.
I did, and
please.
I'll be glad to put that on again. I'm putting it on.
Thank you.
Now.
Okay, and there've been a lot of requests for an evening program next time, which we'll be happy to do, but just keep in mind, this has been recorded and it will be up for sharing for those people who couldn't make it.
Okay.
Women's
And
League.
for those that wanted to.
So can we
I
answer that
went
question
today.
about from Grace, how she does Venmo for a nonprofit, I think was the question.
Yes,
That
and
seems to
Marcia-
be important.
Venmo, yeah,
That's
and
right.
Marcia Strongman can also answer, yes. There's no restriction. I mean, I believe that my treasurer for our sisterhood did it in about 5 minutes. You just need to, we named it MJC Sisterhood, so you have to have the @ sign, and she linked it to our sisterhood checking account. It literally, she did it on her phone at a meeting. And that's as simple as it is. So long as you have a sisterhood account that you can link it to, it was free, and there was no restrictions as far as nonprofit goes.
Do they charge you for your for the interaction at each one, the transaction?
Absolutely not. And they give you a monthly report, so you see what you bring in. The only thing that it requires is that periodically you need to transfer the money out of Venmo into your account. Just because you link it to account doesn't mean it goes in automatically. It stays in the Venmo account, and then when you get your report, you see that, let's say you had a fundraiser, you have $1,000 in there, you need to physically put that money, it's all on your phone, it's easy to do once they're linked, and you just transfer it into your account. But it is very, very important to reiterate what Renee said. If your treasurer happens to have Venmo for her personal and says, oh, I'll just give mine and then we'll sort it out, absolutely do not do that. It looks bad, people will question it, and it only can leave you open to auditing problems with your shul. Don't do that. It's very unprofessional. Remember that we do represent professionally, and everything should be separate when you're handling money. So it's just for accountability, your own protection as well. So I think most of us have our own accounts. Most of us have a checking account or a savings account. You should easily link it.
And you don't need a separate email. It's just this @ you just have to
It's not really, you have to have your sisterhood email just so you can receive the account statements virtually, but you create it. So I think Midway Sisterhood was taken, so we did @ MJC Sisterhood. Whatever is available to you, it doesn't have to be your email address, excuse me.
Thank you, Grace. That was my question. And we, following your steps, we would ask our treasurer to be the contact as opposed to, let's say, the president or the membership chair. We have a financial secretary and a treasurer.
We did two. We did the treasurer and we did me, because I'm in charge of programming for my sisterhood as well. So that when somebody pays for a program, she'll see that the money was sent to Venmo, and I'll see that somebody has RSVP'd, so I can keep track of it and she can keep track of it. It really
Thank
makes
you.
RSVPing so easy.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
Oh,
it.
wait, Terry is my president, and she has something to say.
No, I just want to add that it also makes returning money to someone very easy because you just Venmo it back to them. So there's no checks to return. There's nothing to move around. Our treasurer was sharing that with someone via the Women's League Presnet. And so I just wanted to make you understand that it's got a lot of benefits to it. It leaves them kind of like, let's go of the middleman of the paper check, and you still have all the benefits of getting paid. Thank you, Grace.
Renee, did you have something to say?
I think Marcia wanted to address something about that because I see there are some fees involved depending on the type of account. Marcia, did you want to answer that?
Well, we set up Venmo through PayPal, and then there are PayPal fees.
Right.
The Venmo site says that they don't have any business accounts other than single proprietorships. So I don't know if they don't realize that your account is a business account or how you manage to get around that. But if you go to Venmo, they say that they only work through PayPal. So if you did it, that's great. But
there's no hesitation. I was there when she did it, and our account is very clear what it says. I actually have it in front of me, and it's maybe because it is, I don't know, a nonprofit. It's not through anybody's name. It's absolutely just, it's kosher.
That's great. We couldn't do it. So
no.
Yeah. And
Tova, we did it through PayPal. That we have a PayPal account anyway, so it's fine.
Okay, sorry, Marcia, but Tova also put in a link to a website where there may be fees charged, just so you know. You are, I'm not saying
we
that
were grandfathered. I don't know.
Maybe.
We did it a while
I don't
ago.
know. Who knows? It just depends on the computer on that.
Well, different states have different laws, so that could affect it.
How long ago, Grace, did you set up your account, may I ask?
Terry, 2 years? 3
Terry.
years?
I'm sorry.
3 years? 2 years, maybe?
Okay. And that's New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have, I see Harriet Rudolph. You need to unmute.
Yes, I have a question. Are your synagogues that you're using the Venmo have more than 200 members in the congregation? And we were losing money on all of the fees with PayPal. So now we're only taking checks or cash because our membership, we are having trouble in our synagogue, and our membership went from over 400 down to under 200. So we're in, a money crunch, and I feel that, I would want to do Venmo. I'm going to investigate that because I use it myself. But I'd like to know if you're all having successful synagogues where you're making money. We're penny pinching every nickel.
Wants to answer that, but I know that
But
all
some of the synagogues do is dues are not, you can't pay with PayPal or a credit card, but contributions you can do with credit card to encourage people to do contributions and make it easier.
We pay everything we allow everything to be paid through PayPal, and we get a lot more dues and a lot more payments from everything else using it. So even though there are charges, it doesn't matter because we get more money in the end.
Also, you should know that even though you're charged fees, the person who chooses to use credit card can absorb those fees, and they often still prefer to pay via credit card, even if they incur the fee, because then they get their points and their miles and all of that. So you don't have to eat the charges.
Well, would you believe that our temple did not charge the fee for using the special credit card back to the person? So we absorbed that, and it was more than $20,000 over a year. Yeah. So now we just joined ShulCloud, and it's supposed to be phenomenal, and you send your money directly to the Shoal Club people, and we don't have to deposit checks. The other day, they had more than $6,000 in monies that needed to be deposited, and this will take all that away. People will mail them the checks, and we'll get the money in a day rather than 2 weeks. But Sisterhood, I don't know what we're gonna do. We had 16 members the other day.
Okay. Is Sheila Kaufman on? Because she had made a.
Yes.
Can I tell you that I typed in the search bar in Venmo sisterhood, the word sisterhood, and probably 50 sisterhoods came up as personal, not as business, under Venmo.
Okay, so those that are unfamiliar with how it works and everything, it's worth investigating at least. Some sisterhoods may choose not to do it.
Right.
All right. So we had a lot of flyers that we didn't include today, but we're going to send you copies of them anyway, and you can take a peek at them. Regina, it's all yours. You want to close it down, and we can continue this conversation another time.
Yes, we can definitely continue at another time, and we will definitely try to have some of our meetings in the evening so that it's not too late on the East Coast, and these meetings are not too early if we have them during the daytime on the West Coast. And we appreciate everybody's not only visiting with us today, but all the suggestions that you have given us and everyone. Obviously, this has been good for a lot of people, and we want to continue doing this. If you have, like I said before, if you have any specific questions or things you want us to talk about, let us know. Because, we only know what's going on in our areas, and we don't know what's going on everywhere, and everybody is different. We can also bring in other areas too, if you want, like Torah Fund. We can talk about synagogue support. There's a lot that goes on under the umbrella of membership. So thank you for
Miriam. Miriam, was there something?
Okay.
I just want to know if at a later date we have flyers that we would like to share. Where do we send it? Or how?
Margie?
You know what? I would say if it's pertaining to a membership, Debbie, the membership co-chairs and vice presidents, the co-chairs of membership, I'm sorry, are Regina and Merrill. So they can collect those, and periodically they can send out a blast email to all the membership chairs, the membership VPs, sisterhood presidents. If it's purely programming, but it could be tweaked, we have an education programming team. Just send them in. However, Debbie, do you want to direct traffic here? Because we can share them with each other, and and as you can see, programming it's so much what membership is, because in order to engage women and in order to meet their needs, programming has to be relevant and engaging. So nothing is purely membership. Programming is a vehicle to retain members and to engage our women. They go hand in hand, and we can do more of these kind of joint programs with more of the programming gals than the membership gals, and/or all. We have a Zoom line for 1,000. I challenge you all to get 1,000 people on a call and share flyers and share ideas. So the sky's the limit, and we're looking. I wrote in the chat, that's the advantage. People want to know why they pay per capita. Why would you want to reinvent a wheel? Why would you not? Part of what we do is networking and sharing. So why not take from the neighbor, tweak what you can, and make it work for you? And part of that is how and why we exist, is to offer these opportunities for our members to share and learn from each other. That's the community we create. Debbie, do you want to direct traffic for flyers to come in and how you'd like that?
I think that if everyone sends their flyers to Regina and Merrill, and then Regina and Merrill collect them, and then they can send them to Karen, and Karen can put them all together in a packet. And when you have your notes, we'll put it together with the packet of flyers and send everything together. So I think Regina and Merrill's emails are in the chat. If you send your flyers to them, they'll collect them and send them to Karen. And so I did want to make note that Grace Schessler is the International Program Chair, and she did share with us her membership form, and she's on today. And for those of you who don't really understand how we work, programming and membership, work together by virtue of the fact that they were all on this call together. And Renee was introduced to manage the chat and the questions. And Renee is International Chair of Consulting Services, which you may have also remembered it as training services. And so Renee's job is, if you want a consultant to come to your service, to your sisterhood, she'll arrange for that. So, there were 177 people on this call today, and I think it went very smoothly. There was a lot of help from a lot of leadership in the organization, and as Margie says, that's part of what you get when you pay your dues. And I thought today was a wonderful session, and it was well run. It was, a little bit waiting for Karen, who, by the way, Karen Tenisaka is our paid employee. She's not a volunteer. We love Karen. She's our member relations manager. And so it's very obvious that we would have our membership relations manager on the call today. And she's great with the computer and sharing. And we want to thank Karen for helping us make this a very smooth program. And I just want to say thank you to Marilyn, Regina, and Margie for making this happen, because, I got a lot of ideas that I'm going to take home to my sisterhood. So thank you. It was great.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Regina and
Have
Marilyn.
a great
Take
time.
care, everyone.
And don't forget to check the website.
Thank you.
How
Thank you,
long-
Regina.